Thank you very much for joining me for this episode of Restaurant at Home. And today, I have a special treat for you. I'm going to be doing the Bloomin' Onion in the style of Outback Steakhouse. Before I get started, I'm going to get some of my ingredients together. And in your 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour, you're going to get 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Then we're going to need 2 tablespoons of the paprika. 1/2 teaspoon of oregano. 1 teaspoon of my seasoned salt. 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. And instead of using regular black pepper, I'm actually going to do some ground black pepper, because I'm not going to add a lot. Then you can take like an egg whisker or a whisk or fork, whatever you have. Mix this all around. And now we're just going to make a simple egg wash. I've got 1 cup of whole milk and 2 large eggs. Then we're going to take this, whisk this bad boy around. Got that all mixed up nice and good. And I'm actually going to put this in the refrigerator until I get the rest of my stuff ready. So I've got my onion here, and I'm using a yellow Vidalia onion. I've also got my backups, because I'm not entirely sure that I'm going to be able to cut this right on the first time. Seems a little tricky, but what we're going to do here is cut off the top, just to make sure that it stands flat. And then I'm going to peel. Now that I've got it peeled, I'm also going to take off, it doesn't really matter, you can either take this part off or leave this on. And then basically what you want to do is make 4 cuts, probably about a 1/2 inch from the center. And then in between each of the 4 corners, 2 cuts. Try and make them as even as possible. Oh my God, and then it's just falling apart. Okay. I've got my second onion, cut the top off, peeled. All right, let's do this again. Take off the bottom. Oh my goodness. All right, little guy, it's me and you. We got to make this work. Round 3. And I'm not going all the way down to the wood on the cutting board either. I guess I do have to cut this part off. Almost got it. Like this is almost it. Wow. She's not pretty, but I do have some petals. Let's do this. Got my egg wash out of the refrigerator. And what we're gonna do is go ahead and get this baby in some oil. Some flour. Flour up in all the petals, because we are gonna end up shaking it off, the excess. And then into your wash, kind of rotate that around. Let some of that drain out. Back in the flour. You want to get that excess off. You want to make sure you get flours all up in the petals, if you will, as best you can without tearing your onion apart. Now we've got it coated. This is going in the freezer for at least an hour. You know what, now that I think about it, remember this part that I messed up earlier? It's not attached, but we're gonna go ahead and do this up too. Shake some of that excess off. And this too is going in the freezer. Hey Google, set me a timer for 1 hour.
Sure, 1 hour, starting now.
So for the next step, you want to get your pot ready. You want to get you some corn oil and get that warming up, because it's almost time to take the onion out of the freezer. And also, while we're waiting, we're going to go ahead and make our dipping sauce for the onion. So for the dipping sauce, we are going to start with 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise. And of course I got Duke's. Hey, look at that. Okay, Google, stop. 2 tablespoons of sour cream. Then we got 1½ teaspoons of ketchup. 1/2 teaspoon of Worcestershire. 1 tablespoon of horseradish sauce. Pinch of cayenne pepper. Then we're going to do 1/4 teaspoon of paprika. Just about a 1/4 teaspoon. Give it just a dash of salt to start. That really was a dash. And then a dash of pepper, because we're kind of going to season that to taste. Definitely a little more salt and pepper. Okay, so our sauce is done. So as you can see, I've got my onions out of the freezer. This was the one I did originally, and this was like the little mishap. So we're gonna do both of them. So you wanna make sure you get your grease up to 350 degrees at least. And of course, you wanna make sure that you don't have too much grease in your container, because you know it'll boil and bubble out. This one first. Be very careful when you're frying with grease, so use your tongs. Put this in there, cut side down. And do the same with this one. Let them fry for about 2 to 3 minutes with the cut side facing down. And then you're gonna flip them over and continue to fry them for about another 6 or 7 minutes. And they're getting beautifully golden brown as they're frying. That's kind of what you want to look for. So they're about done and ready to come out. I'm gonna let the excess drain off on these beauties. They actually look really good. Come on, woman, move. I want some too. Let me take a petal off from about right here. They turn out good. Okay, that's good. Crikey, mates. Let's try that again. Crikey, mates. I want to welcome you to this episode of Restaurant at Home. I can't keep a straight face when I do that. I hope you enjoyed that episode. And wow, that's not what I want to say at all. Thank you very much for joining me for that episode, and I hope you enjoyed it. I have the actual recipe in the description below, so go ahead and check that out if you want to make it. I never did get the cutting down for how to get the onion to look kind of restaurant perfect like they do at Outback, and I got down to my last onion. If you want to experiment with a couple of different ways on how to cut your onion, one thing I would say is don't cut all the way down when you're doing your side cuts, because that just basically cuts the onion up. And yeah, just be very careful. That's all I got. Oh, there's also the link to my store. If you want to pick up shirts like this, the I Am Blessed t-shirt, and a couple of different colors. Wow, that's a big shirt. So yeah, go ahead and check that out. The link is in the description for that. Don't forget to subscribe. Click the bell notification also so you can be notified when I put up a new video. And yeah, thank you very much. I'll see you in the next one.